What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing, and we back at it. Another breakdown and prediction. Big heavyweight fight we got coming up this Saturday. Saturday afternoon for us over here on Eastern Standard Time. Yes, indeed. Andy Ruiz, the WBO, IBF, and WBA heavyweight champion of the world. 33 and 1, 22 KOs. 6'2", 74-inch reach. Andy Ruiz Jr. from Imperial, California. He's going to be facing Anthony Joshua from London, UK. 22 and 1, 21 KOs. 6'6", 82-inch reach. So as we could see, this guy definitely has a significant height and reach advantage over Ruiz. They say Ruiz is 6'2". I can't tell. I'm not sure, man. I'm not too sure if I believe that. I believe he's a little shorter than that. You know what I mean? Especially when I see him face to face with Joshua in the face up. He looks mighty short compared to him, compared to Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? So December 7th, we got this fight finally come up, you know what I mean? And this right here, ladies and gents, boxing heads and fight fans around the world, is a true 50-50 fight. I'm not too sure what the odds say. I haven't looked at the odds. I will be looking at the odds probably tomorrow because I'm definitely trying to put some guap on this fight. I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen with this 50-50 bout we have happening in Saudi Arabia. Keys to victory. Anthony Joshua. We'll see what kind of adjustments he makes. We'll see if his stamina is up to par. We'll see if his chin is up to par. These are the adjustments that we have to see Anthony Joshua make, and I'm very um, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. That's one thing. Anthony Joshua's only been to gone the distance once, as a matter of fact, yes, versus Joseph Parker, you know what I mean? Andy Ruiz has gone the distance a few times, but lately he's been starching out his opponents. Ask Anthony Joshua, ask Alexander Demetrenko. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Kingpin Johnson went he went the distance versus Andy Ruiz. But we also got to remember, Anthony Joshua did stop Kingpin Johnson, and Kingpin Johnson is just not no nobody. He's a tough dude to stop, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. Kingpin Johnson, what these guys done on their prior resumes, got nothing to do with what they're going to do in the ring. So if Anthony Joshua makes the crucial adjustments, he possibly could win this fight. You know what I mean? I think Anthony Joshua in the last fight, he seemed to gas out early, you know what I mean? Especially when he got caught with a couple tempo shots. You know, Anthony Joshua does have a tendency to gas out. All that body mass from bodybuilding be holding him back. I really truly believe that, you know what I mean? For the most part, most bodybuilding dudes who cut looking like it's a bodybuilding contest, they ain't got no chin. I remember the White Rhino dude from South Africa. Uh, White Rhino fought Michael Moore. He fought Mike Tyson. What the hell's his name? I'm drawing a blank, but that dude was cut. But that dude was very cut because he was also under steroids, you know what I mean? Frank Bruno was another dude who was chiseled. You know what I'm saying? Shaped like a god, like an Adonis. But them fellas, look, man, them fellas couldn't take a shot like that. And Anthony Joshua seems like he's in the same boat, you know what I mean? And Andy Ruiz knows this. And the whole boxer, everybody who's objective at least, knows that Anthony Joshua has been down at least 5 times in his pro career, in his 23-odd fights, you know what I mean? Andy Ruiz has only been down once, and that was in round 3 versus Anthony Joshua in the first fight on June 1st in Madison Square Garden. Now, I think that the man, Anthony Joshua, he's going to have to pump that jab, and he's going to have to throw them combinations, fight from the mid-range where he's usually more comfortable at, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to have to, look, if he tries to do what he did the last time, trying to use lateral movement, trying to box going backwards, which is not his forte, he can go ahead and do that. And I guarantee you, believe you me, we shall have the same outcome because Joshua's not built for that lateral movement. Joshua's a typical upright European type fighter, straight up and down. You know what I mean? That's what he is. And I'm sorry, Andy Ruiz knows this, you know what I mean, with his short, compact style, Mexican style, you know what I mean? So I think that the man Anthony Joshua, he's going to have to man up, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to test his defense, trust his defense, and be in the pocket. He could take little moves left and right, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got the upper body movement or the head movement to evade shots. That's not his style. He ain't no cannoli. That's what he's not, you know what I mean? He ain't no Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? So he's going to have to keep a tight guard, you know what I'm saying? Keep that right hand protecting his temple side and his jaw side and pumping that jab and bringing it back, you know what I'm saying? Bringing it back because I'm pretty sure it's going to be like, it might come to the point where the guy might be scared to pull the trigger because he might have flashbacks of what happened in the first fight, you know what I mean? You check it. The man, Andy Ruiz, is a very good counterpuncher, you know what I'm saying? He's good at slipping punches. I'm not saying he's dynamic and the best defensive fighter I've ever seen, but I do believe he has better defense than Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? He can slip them punches, go underneath, and he can throw his counter left hooks. He's also going to have to throw them body shots, you know what I'm saying? Especially if the guy, Anthony Joshua, tries to employ the same kind of tactics that he did in the first fight. It's them body shots like that Andy Ruiz was catching the man Anthony Joshua with. That also definitely took some fumes out of his gas tank. You know what I mean? The man was running on fumes. Andy Ruiz is a very smart fighter, and I think he's going to use these same tactics, parrying the jab of Anthony Joshua, just like he was in the first fight. When Anthony Joshua was throwing that jab, this guy Andy Ruiz was literally punching Anthony Joshua's arm. When he throws a jab, look, when he throws a jab, when Anthony Joshua throw a jab, Andy Ruiz is punching his right hand. You know what I'm saying? Punching his left hand. That was a great tactic right there. That, will slow the man Anthony Joshua's punching rate and punch output down. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's trying to throw combinations. Throwing combinations, even if you're missing, this guy is actually punching your arm. That was a brilliant tactic by Andy Ruiz, man. Don't get fooled by the baby-faced assassin or the destroyer, Andy Ruiz. This guy's a very intellectual, intelligent fighter. That's why he won that fight easily. You know what I mean? So Anthony Joshua gonna have to use his jab, bring it right back, throw them uppercuts, but he's gonna have to throw power shots. He's gonna have to keep the man, Andy, Andy Ruiz, honest. You know what I mean? Then it's now going to come down to chins and stamina. You know what I'm saying? I rate Andy Ruiz stamina more than the man Anthony Joshua. I've seen him go the distance more. You know what I mean? Um, a guy who has quick movement can beat the guy what's his name? Quick foot movement can beat the man Andy Ruiz. You know what I mean? You check it, especially if you're a good counter puncher too, and you're also landing your power shots. You can't just be evasive, you know what I mean, and not landing anything. Andy Ruiz is gonna have to cut off the ring, which he did like in the first fight, because Anthony Joshua is not gonna be a guy using the whole ring, you know what I mean? And he tried to do that, but he wasn't successful. That style that he fought was not his style. Now there's a few determining factors in this particular fight that might favor the man Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? First and foremost, they have the same referee in the fight that was the referee when the man Vladimir Klitschko fought Povetkin, and that referee was atrocious and egregious. This guy was letting the man Vladimir Klitschko lean and clinch and hold the man Povetkin. You know what I'm saying? All day. There was even a knockdown that was counted as a knockdown because Vladimir Klitschko was leaning on the man Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry, on the man Povetkin. You know what I mean? Now I think that the man Anthony Joshua, because he's a fan and his idol is Vladimir Klitschko. Why, I don't know, but they do have similar stuff going for them in their career. They both got been knocked the f out. You know what I mean? That's one thing that's happened. Corey Spinks, I said Corey Spinks. Corey Saunders versus versus Vlad Klitschko. There, Ross Purity versus Vladimir Klitschko. Lamont Brewster. These are guys who weren't supposed to beat the man Vladimir Klitschko. Some may say Andy Ruiz wasn't supposed to beat the man Anthony Joshua. Well, the rematch shall tell. You know what I mean? I personally don't think it's a fluke. I think the guy is definitely who he is and who he portrays himself to be. You know what I mean? A very good fighter, quick, fast hands, and I think that Anthony Joshua is going to have trouble with them fast hands. As far as Andy Ruiz, I think Andy Ruiz, if there's anything that could deter him from not winning this fight, is maybe if he can't get past Anthony Joshua's jab and he just settles, you know what I mean? And maybe he might be trying to look for just one shot. If he's going into this fight just trying to blast Anthony Joshua with one shot, then he ain't going to win this fight. He got to stick to the same game plan, use his hand speed, bob and weave style, using a lot of head movement, counter punching, throwing them overhand rights and sneaky left hooks and throwing shots to the body. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, he got to stand in the pocket. He got to use a little side to side lateral movement, not enough to empty out his gas tank, but enough to keep the man Andy Ruiz, make him maybe have to set up again. You know what I mean? Because Andy Ruiz is going to take them short stalking steps to try and get closer to the disc, to the target. He wants to get closer on the inside. The man Anthony Joshua wants to stay mostly at mid range. You know what I mean? To keep this guy at bay. You know what I'm saying? So it's all up to now if the man Andy Ruiz can disrupt the man Anthony Joshua's adjustments and game plan. And it's going to be a tall task, it's a tall order, and this is a very difficult fight to call. You know what I mean? It's Thursday. If you know B Marsh Boxing, I do my predictions early. If you find me doing a prediction 2 days before the fight, best believe I've been contemplating hard who's going to win this fight. You know what I mean? Very difficult fight to call. And this year, real talk, man, 2019 been a good year of boxing because there have been plenty of fights of this caliber, which were hard to call. You know what I'm saying? So I think this fight goes similar. My prediction is going to be kind of similar to the one I had, Josh Taylor versus Prograis. You know what I mean? This fight is outside the country, in both of these guys outside both of their countries. But, the British Boxing Board of Control, I'm pretty sure, are the ones who are going to be basically like administering this whole event. You know what I mean? They're going to be like the boxing commission overseeing this whole event. I don't know how people feel about that, especially considering they got Dillian White, a predicate steroid abuser, who's gonna be on that card. Now, as far as UCARD, as far as VADA and drug testing, look, man, don't even worry about that, man. Cause, look, man, like I said, if this fight's administered by UCAD, commissioned by UCAD, good luck, man. Anything goes. We already know this, you know what I mean? But I think that the man Anthony Joshua, I think he can pull it off, and I think that the man, what's his name, Andy Ruiz could pull it off. But I think Andy Ruiz got to win this fight by knockout. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he's going to lead that fight winning a decision, especially if it's close. You know what I'm saying? Just like the man Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor. You know what I mean? If it's a close fight, you already know who it's going to. So Andy Ruiz, he has to implement a vicious game plan where he has to take this guy out of character again, destroy his game plan right in front of him and take away his adjustments, and he's going to have to go to work early, you know what I mean? So in this particular fight, it's either going to be Andy Ruiz with a stoppage, probably around the same round, maybe between 7 and 9, or Anthony Joshua winning a decision, you know what I'm saying? And I probably got this fight, I see this fight going possibly, I think Andy Ruiz could win a points decision as well. And I think he could win this fight 7 rounds to 5. But the judges, they're gonna win it to they're gonna give it to the man Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it, really and truly. You know what I'm saying? I think Andy Ruiz will win this fight on points or by knockout. Or Anthony Joshua could even barely win this fight on points. You know what I mean? Even possibly by knockout. But I do believe in Andy Ruiz chin. You know what I mean? And it's a tough fight to call, man, but I think I'll just go with the man Anthony Joshua by a dubious decision, you know what I mean? Yeah, if it's a split decision, majority decision, they're gonna give it to the man. The man, Andy Ruiz, has to make sure his left and right hand are the judge in this fight, and that's the only way he can escape up out of Saudi Arabia without any politics from judges and or referees. You know what I mean? So that's my prediction. What's up, Whoopants? He says, "Have you placed my miracle bet yet?" What was it again? I can't remember. Whoopants says body shots from Ruiz will win this fight in a late stoppage. Yeah, that's quite possible, man, because it's a body shots, especially in round six in the last fight. They took out a lot of gas from the man Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? And, like I said, Anthony Joshua's only gone the distance once. And that's matter of fact, that was a controversial fight. I had that fight a draw versus Joseph Parker. The referee interfered with that fight, didn't let the man Joseph Parker work on the inside. There was a lot of interference from the referee. The pundits on Sky TV were upset at the referee and how the fight was officiated, and also the American broadcasters from Showtime. Anybody who watches boxing know that that fight was the referee definitely interfered, and that possibly could happen in this fight. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not so confident in Andy Ruiz just winning straight up and down a clean fight just off his skill set. You know what I mean? Um, but I think the body shot game is definitely going to be in favor of the man Andy Ruiz, because that's to me what actually got the man Anthony Joshua gassed out in rounds 6 and 7. Leo Serrano's in the chat. He says, "What's up, man?" He says, "Andy, undisputed champion. He's not yet undisputed. He has 3 belts. He's still not in the clear. He's still got to defend his titles on Saturday. If he beats him, man, Anthony Joshua, I'll be I'll be sitting here patiently waiting to see an undisputed fight, hopefully between Ruiz and um, Deontay Wilder, because that's the only way we could have an undisputed when all 4 belts are not fragmented and they're unified. You know what I mean? So that's my prediction. Big ups to Whoopats. Big ups to Leo Soriano. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Me, Marsh Boxing, I'm gone. Peace.